In today's lesson, we're going to explore what's the point of history. Motivation is essential. Class discussion. Choose one or both. Explain a time when you were or were not motivated to do something. What did it feel like? Were you successful or not? Why? If a student is motivated to learn, he or she can overcome almost any obstacle. The contrary is also true. If a student lacks motivation, no amount of coercion can get a student to do well in class. Finding motivation to learn history. Much to your history teacher's dismay, most students do not like studying history for fun on their own. Let's try this approach to motivating you. I demand you change your attitude and like history right now. Class discussion. Is this approach likely to work for most students? Why or why not? What does this tell us about motivation? What motivates us to learn? A metaphor. Imagine you want to be a carpenter. You enroll in carpentry school. Step 1, memorization. All day, every day, your carpentry teacher asks you to memorize the name and function of tools. You become a master at this. You are the best in the world at telling me the name, size, and function of any tool that has ever existed. Is it a good idea to memorize the name and function of tools if you want to be a carpenter? If you are the foremost expert in tool memorization, does this make you a carpenter? Are you bored with carpentry school if this is all you did? Why or why not? Step 2, developing skills. After memorizing what tools do, you ask your teacher to do more. All day, every day, your teacher has you practice using carpentry tools. On a practice board, you become the best in the world at hammering in nails, screwing in screws, and so on. Is it a good idea to practice using carpentry tools if you want to be a carpenter? If you are the foremost expert in tool practice, does this make you a carpenter? Are you bored with carpentry school if this is all you did? Why or why not? Step 3, implementation. What do carpenters do? Other than money, what motivates carpenters to do their job? Why do true carpenters like carpentry? History. Step 1, memorization. Many history teachers have students memorize facts about the past. Is it important to know things about the past in order to practice history? If all we do is memorize facts about the past, would history be motivating to most students? What about if the facts are really interesting? Why or why not? Step 2, developing skills. Better history teachers help students develop the skills of historians. For example, history teachers teach students how to interpret old documents, discover what occurred in the past, or find out the reason things happened in the past. Is it important to develop the skills of an historian in order to practice history? Is practicing history going to be enough to motivate most students to like history? Why? Step 3, implementation. To implement carpentry, carpenters build things. How do we implement history? What do we do with this stuff? Why are you in a history class? Why is any of this important? Why should people, and particularly high school students, care about learning history at all? Your assignment. Write a paragraph explaining your answer to the above question. Make sure to cite real or theoretical examples in your answer. How do we implement history? What do we do with this stuff? Why are you in a history class? Why is any of this important? Why should people, and particularly high school students, care about learning history at all? Wrong answers. Be sure to avoid these when doing your assignment. Number 1, history is valuable because it shows us where we came from. So what? Number 2, history is valuable because you can become a history teacher. Most high school students will never become history teachers. Number 3, history is valuable because you can write books. Same thing as number 2. Most people will never write a book. Number 4, history is valuable because the past is interesting. Most people are bored to death by history books. Most people don't care about the past and don't find it interesting. Remember, the study of anything is only valuable and motivating if you can implement or use it. What do we do with history?